reviewing old trailers. Hello. Oh dear, what's this? Whoa! That was magical! Amazing! The white shirt has been restored. Welcome back to another amazing episode of reviewing old trailers. Yes! In this episode, we're joined by the brilliant Micheal McGorry from Moovies Milk, so stay tuned for his section. He was kind enough to film and edit his portion of the video, so thanks a lot there, Mikey. Myself and Mike have been in contact for quite a while now. Ever since I started Rot, he's always been requesting I do the Carrie trailer, the 1976 Carrie trailer, with Sissy Spacek. I've been cock-teasing him a little bit with that, I just have been holding off on doing that. I think it was because at the time I'd already done the 1979 Alien trailer and it was just a bit too close, like 1976, 1979. I was trying to hop around all of the different eras. It's not because I didn't want to review this trailer, because I adore that movie. But yeah, I've been making him wait a little bit. But then more recently we both came to the agreement that he should come on ROT and help me review it. So that's how we ended up here. Now the reasons for why I've held off on reviewing this trailer isn't because I didn't want to. I just wanted to test Mike's patience, kind of like Yoda did with Luke in Empire, just to see if he was the right kind of man to have on ROT. This YouTube series is such a mantle to take on, it shouldn't be taken lightly, and I needed to know if he was just a young boy out for adventure or he wanted to actually seriously review an old trailer, and he displayed great patience. Anyway, cracking on now, I'm just going to start with my thoughts on the Carrie movie itself. Made slap bang in the middle of the 70s, great time for film. Great time for horror films, the 70s. It's among my favourites. I think I might even watch it for Halloween this year. It's perfect for your Saturday night in throwback horror film. I think it's been more than a year since I last saw it. I definitely need to update that. Not only is the story concept from Stephen King brilliant, but what director Brian De Palma brought to that film visually, and how he set it all up. It's one of his finest films. He was at the top of his game back then. It's great as a cheesy vintage film, but I also think that the character of Carrie is well defined and sympathetic, and it's kind of a tragedy. You really do care for her. I'm completely on her side at the end. It's a really good coming of age cautionary tale of how not to raise a kid when they're going through puberty. It's such a uniquely feminine story. This maternal wrath, there's a lot of, I'm pretty sure it's a metaphor for menstruation, right? Has that not already been said? Just all of that emotion that you're dealing with at that age, specifically as a girl. She's just psychologically traumatized throughout the whole film. Her mother's trying to repress her sexuality at literally the worst time you're supposed to do that, and causing Carrie to have severe feelings of self-loathing and self-punishment. She has all these powers and she's not properly guided. She's just beaten down, her mother just represses all of these emotions and shames her for them, and then at the end you just have a explosion of fuck off. All of this shit that's being put on her, it just explodes outwards in this bloodbath, and because you've seen the whole film and it's a sympathetic film, you understand that story. You understand the emotions behind it. It's a fucking brilliant film, and maybe that is down to the book and Stephen King, but it's the best Hitchcock film that Hitchcock didn't make. That's how visually evocative it is, and it was De Palma's job to make her character sympathetic on the big screen, and he did it perfectly. Because De Palma's known for almost black comedic, satirical exploitation films that has characters that are overtly cheesy or old-fashioned, or like from a B-movie. But this has such a strong emotional core. Anyway, I could dote about that film for hours. If you haven't seen it already, go and watch it immediately. Watch it for Halloween if you haven't. It's a great feminine archetype story. Anyway, so that's what I think of the film, but what do I think of the trailer? Well, I think the trailer's pretty awesome too. I can see now why Moovies Milk so keenly recommended it.
The girl with the strange power.
If I concentrate hard enough, I can move things.
The only thing is, it's a little hard to tell how good it is on its own, because I love the film so much anyway. And this usually happens when we watch a trailer for a really good film. A lot of the pros come from the pros of the actual film itself. Like if I said this trailer's really visually expressive and has great cinematography, that's with the film.
And everyone makes fun of her. The girl who lives in that creepy house.
On a strictly entertainment basis, I think it's a really groovy trailer. The unique selling point and the best part about this trailer is the narration.
It's the night of the senior prom. The Bates High School gym is alive with excitement.
Again, common hallmark of old trailers to have narration like this, with horror films specifically. But this guy's voice in particular just has such a satisfying sound to it.
For Carrie, it will be a dream come true. For everyone else, it will be a nightmare.
It's a little bit sinister, but also very sympathetic towards Carrie. A little bit Twilight Zone-esque, I say that having not seen a single full episode of the show. It's Twilight Zone-esque. It's Orwellian. For that, it's a very soothing trailer to watch. And it gets you into that mood of, ooh, cool throwback 70s vibes.
Based on the chilling bestseller.
Ooh, throwback time. The psycho stabbing scene sound effect, like the alarms going off, like rih, rih, rih. There's that one sound that's used prominently throughout this trailer. Every time she does something fucked up, every time it foreshadows her powers going wrong, it plays that sound beat. And it can be quite unintentionally funny at times, but it is also quite fitting because Brian De Palma was heavily influenced by Alfred Hitchcock. He was considered to be the Hitchcock of the 70s and 80s, like a sexy, bloody Hitchcock. There's so much in this trailer that makes me want to love it. It does run through the entire plot of the film, like first, second, third act, and it didn't need to do that.
But tonight, no one will laugh at Carrie.
If you don't have a date for the prom next Friday, would you like to go with me?
Like, as a montage of the film, it's great. Like, for the Blu-ray release, say. For people who've already seen it. But as, like, an advertisement for the film, I wish they'd been a bit more artistic with it and a bit more minimalist. Like, maybe just have stuff from the first and second act. I think all trailers should only pluck scenes from the first and second act. Like, early second act at that.
If you have a taste for terror, you have a date with Carrie.
That tagline at the end, though, is mint. That's like everything cool about the old cheesy 70s films. This is a very good representation of that whole era of trailers. So historically, it's rich and interesting. Also, a very old-fashioned thing when they show the cast at the end. They have a shot of the performer, then text with the name, and then they say, Sissy Spacek or John Travolta.
Starring Sissy Spacek, Piper Laurie, and introducing John Travolta.
So it's like 3, just in case it's not clear. And another completely separate thing. The clip they use of John Travolta for the introducing John Travolta's first performance.
And introducing John Travolta in his first...
It's Instagram boomeranged.
Introducing John Travolta in his first...
It looks weird. In fact, while we're on that subject, boomerang edits are just fucking bizarre. Like, in a YTP context, it's normal. Like, it's appropriate there. But I don't know what the fuck boomerangs are supposed to be.
I heard you fancy Ruby. 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 I heard you fancy Ruby.
I associate that with YTPs and, like, silly edits and shit posts. So why are, like, these attractive girls doing it? All these models and shit.
I heard you fancy Ruby. I heard you fancy Ruby. I heard you fancy Ruby.
Here it's obviously done because the clip they had for John Travolta was obviously too small for what they intended to do within this trailer. So they just extended it by playing it and then reversing it. It would be more embarrassing if that happened in a modern trailer, like Avengers or something. I guess for fresh audiences, it still would have been very intriguing to see this. It shows, like, literally so much, like, of her walking out of the prom. Every penultimate moment of the story is shown in this. Every section of the film. Which is unfortunate. I want to love it, but I can't. It's still, like, obviously for aesthetic reasons, it's a really cool trailer to watch. But now we come to one of the most important parts of the whole show. The What Does This Trailer Teach Us segment. It reminds us that Brian De Palma was a visual storytelling god in the 70s and 80s. Reminds us that Carrie's a fucking brilliant film, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it. About the narration, since it's fairly different in tone and, like, the voice, it just sounds different to the Forrest Gump one, for instance, which is much more soft, way more softer and friendly. Obviously, it's not a horror trailer.
Tom Hanks.
Other ones are a bit more like, if you dare, like fucking Draculan, if that's the word to describe it, like, oh, ha, ha, ha. This isn't as sinister as that. So there's like a range of different voice acting tones, which is all ridiculously specific thing to study for a video, so this is all nerdy, so who gives a shit anyway. I'm not over the moon about it. I really want to love it. I think the specific editing and structuring of the Where Eagles Dare trailer was significantly standout. A unique thing to the trailer, so it's not as good as that. I'd happily put it above Iron Man though. So yeah, that's it. It's fourth place. It's the fourth best trailer we've watched in the series. Let's compare it to the Alien trailer, which was made in the same era of film. That was a great trailer in every aspect. It was experimental and intriguing, had the egg motif, which was an exclusive visual for the trailer, didn't give anything away, was a fucking scary experience on its own. What the fuck is happening in this film? The music and the sound that accompanies it obviously helped a lot there. With a film like Carrie, it's a really cool concept. You could have done something with that. Like that alien egg visual on its own is such a good visual accentuation of the themes of the film without giving anything away. They could have done something like that with the Carrie trailer. Have like an exclusive shot, something like with the blood motif, or fire or telepathy. They did just summarise the whole story of the film. I think especially for horror films, minimalism is the best way, the most most artistic way to go. The less you know about the film, the better. With trailers as a whole, you should be as evocative of the film as possible by using the least amount of footage from the film as possible. So you have to be a gifted montage editor. Like, it is its own art form, but it's also like an advertisement. It's like with film posters. Some are really artsy and cool and you want to hang them up like that one, but some are just slimy and cynical and corporate just to sell tickets. So it's like a story as old as time with the artistic versus the cynical. I don't really think this is a particularly cynical trailer. I think it definitely wasn't Brian De Palma's decision to show so much of the film. You can imagine him getting pissed off about that. Honestly, it should be the directors who make the trailers, but it's handed over to the marketing team and they can do whatever the fuck they want. They're just like, oh, this needs to sell. This needs to get as many people in this theatre as possible. Anyway, here to provide some further critique towards the Carrie trailer, 1976, and also compare and contrast it to the 2013 remake Carrie trailer, is Mike McGorry from Moovies Milk. Take it away!
Hello. That's right, for Halloween, I've decided to dress up as Batgirl. I've got the traditional Batgirl white t-shirt. I've also got myself a Domino's pizza. All I need to do is grow my hair out and dye it black, and I've got the look down. Tastes like cardboard. No, but in all seriousness, let's give it up for Batgirl. He's such a kind and generous man. I have longed to collaborate with the man ever since I came across his YouTube channel. I don't wish to repeat anything that the man has said. All I want to do is come on here and say that the Carrie trailer from 1976 is unironically one of my favourite film trailers of all time, and I have absolutely no idea as to why. I don't know if it's the over-the-top narration, the overuse of the psycho stinger, the misspelling of Stephen King's name, but there's something so inherently charming about this little trailer. I mean, Carrie is an Oscar-nominated film, and you would not get that from the trailer. No sirree. And I shouldn't love this trailer as much as I do, because this trailer spoils almost every single supernatural / scary scene that's in the film. A lot of audiences nowadays like to complain and say that modern trailers just spoil way too much of the movie. But I hate to break it to you, kiddo, that's been going on for many decades now. But speaking of modern horror trailers, let's discuss the remake to Carrie. Look at me, I'm like Paul Blart darting about in his Segway. Yes, like many classic films that came out in the 70s and 80s, Carrie also fell victim to the remake trend that was very popular in the early 2010s. I mean, I know remakes have been around for years and will continue to be prevalent in years to come, but Jesus Christ, the early 2010s just wanted to fuck everything. So in 2013, audiences were Chloe graced Moretz with the second theatrical adaptation of this classic Stephen King story. I've not seen this remake, I've not heard good things about this remake, I've not even seen a trailer for this remake. So I thought it would be a fun idea to use my knowledge of the original source material as well as my knowledge of modern day horror movie trailer conventions to try and predict what happens in this trailer. First of all, this trailer is going to start off with an establishing shot either of the Carrie White household or the Bates High School that she goes to. If it starts off with the high school, then I can guarantee that that will lead into the plug it up shower scene. And if it's an establishing shot of the house, it's going to go for a very creepy feel, I think. It's either going to open with the mother either saying a prayer or creepily singing a hymn whilst Carrie is locked in her little closet being forced to pray for her sins. And then from then on, the trailer is going to spoil the entire plot. The original trailer for the 1976 film only really spoils the prom sequences, whereas I think this film is going to start off more like a drama, and then about midway through, so this is about a minute and 15 seconds into the trailer, Carrie is going to be asked to go to prom. Her mother is going to disapprove, she's going to get all angry, and she's going to throw Carrie into the closet once again. And it's at this point where I think the trailer is going to reveal that Carrie has supernatural abilities. We're not going to see any of her telekinesis in the first half of the trailer, and then at the midpoint she's going to like break down the closet door or something, and she's going to sit there stunned. Her mother is going to be shocked, and then boom, we're going to get a credit saying, "From the terrifying mind of Stephen King," or something like that. And then the remainder of the trailer is going to be similar to that of the 76 trailer, in which it's just going to spoil all the chaotic supernatural scenes that occur within the movie. And then the trailer is going to end with her being downed in the pig's blood, because that is the most iconic scene of the film. So the trailer needs to end with that before the Carrie title card appears on screen. So let's react to this fucker. Now, I'm a bit wary going into this trailer, because if it turns out that I got my predictions completely wrong, then it's going to show that I know absolutely nothing. But if I get my predictions so right, then people aren't going to believe that this is actually my first genuine initial reaction to the trailer. So an established shot of the house, as I predicted. What's that? Is she singing a hymn? And is that Carrie screaming from the closet, perhaps? Yes. Told you. Oh. Right, okay. We're doing both cliches. We've got an establishing shot of both the Carrie household and the school.
You pray, little girl. You pray for forgiveness. Let me go.
Stephen King credit? Yes, man! Chaotic scenes of prom.
They're gonna laugh at you.
They're all gonna laugh at you. Blood. Drenching Carrie. Right, okay. I got a good number of my predictions right. I think that was a success. I'd mark that down as a success. Shut up, Betsy! And that just goes to show you that modern horror trailers are just so by the numbers, so predictable. Gone are the days of the original Alien trailer, or heck, even the original Carrie trailer. I mean, seriously, bring back the deep voice narrator, I say. I miss him. You will know her name. What the fuck? What is this? Candyman? That's not to say that all modern horror trailers are bad. I did really like the Last Night in Soho teaser trailer. So, there is still some hope. In summary, we should just be expecting more from these film trailers, especially if it's a trailer for a bigger film, like a Marvel film, for example. Everyone is going to see Spider-Man No Way Home. We didn't need a traditional trailer. Anyway, back to you, Batcho. I'm going to finish this slice of pizza, and then I'm going to shit out my stomach.
Oh shit! Forgive me, I was just movies and milking myself. Thank you, Mike and Movies and Milk, for being a part of this prestigious YouTube series. This will be a great addition to your CV, honestly. It just says rot. Now, seriously, thanks for coming on, and thanks for all the enthusiasm that you've shown personally towards this series. So be sure to go over and subscribe to Movies and Milk. Check out the stuff. Check out him trying to get through watching fucking Human Centipede and Cannibal Holocaust. I'm pretty sure what's going on is Mike is locked in a room and forced to watch these films and review them. There's like a speaker in the corner of the room and they send him instructions. Try and find a creative way to end the video. Ugh. Let's try and get out. Anyway, it's been Batcho once again, obviously. There'll be more wanking technique tutorials coming shortly. As requested, they're going to be nice and in-depth, so stay tuned for that. Thanks. This is the end of the video, and I just think you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself for what you've done. Honestly, you are the cancer of society.